Sequel versus sequel. This is different because when I think of the Child's Play movies and the Chuckie movies in general, I obviously go to that very first Child's Play movie because it's a classic. It came out the same year I was born. I grew up on this movie, and it's, I think, without a doubt, without any argument, the best Child's Play movie. At least in my opinion, it is the very best. So when it comes to the sequels, some are better than others. Others, I think, suck. So I thought it would be interesting to compare and contrast the two sequels of Child's Play. I'm talking about Child's Play 2 and Child's Play 3. So first of all, let's look at Chuckie from both movies and his goals in one movie compared to his goals in the other. And let's see which one is more interesting. In Child's Play 2, you see that Chuckie still wants to possess Andy, which I know is just a carryover, just the same plot from the first film, but it still makes sense because of how it's only been a year or two later. And obviously, since Chuckie failed, Charles Lee Ray failed to get his soul out of this doll, he would want to do it, and he would want to do it with the same kid who screwed him over and defeated him the last time around. It's really all about revenge. And that's the easiest thing for your killer to try to do in the sequel. Brad Dourif, I think, is great in this role. He has a lot of great one-liners and a lot of great moments. We'll get to all of those in a minute. But in Child's Play 3, you see that since they jump ahead 8 years later, now instead of possessing Andy, who's 16, he wants to possess another kid, Tyler. And I don't necessarily know how much more sense this makes. I mean, if Andy's older, if Andy's a teenager, you would almost think that that would be more appealing to Chuckie because he doesn't have to be a little boy. But for whatever reason, he wants to be inside little boys. I won't get too deep into that or touch that anymore. But him wanting to go against inside this Tyler kid, I never found that interesting. I never loved that. And I'll get to how much I don't like Tyler. Brad Dourif is good in here as well, but I do think he has a lot more cringe-worthy jokes in the third film. So I'm going to give the win to the Chuckie from Child's Play Part 2. Andy Barkley in Child's Play Part 2. He is still played by Alex Vincent, who played him in the original. And that's big. That's huge. Alex Vincent, that's who I think of when I think of Andy. Him in the original, he was such a young kid. He was so vulnerable. He was so scared, and then had to grow up and be as brave as he was to go up against Chuckie. This is the end, friend. Just great moments from this kid. So to see him a little older, he's now, I believe, 8 years old. I'll admit, the older he got, probably the worse he got as an actor. I mean, he's fine in this movie. He's fine. But I thought he was better actually in the first film, which is interesting. But still, you feel instantly connected to him. You're obviously watching him go into this foster house, and you feel bad for him when he's pleading with the new parents about this doll and about what's going on, but they don't believe him. They just think he's crazy. In Child's Play 3, Justin Whelan plays Andy Barkley, and I'm not going to blame this guy. It's not his fault. The story decided to go so far ahead in the future that I guess they couldn't use Alex Vincent again. He wasn't at that age, and they wanted to try something new, something different with Andy being a teenager. I mean, I get it, but I don't necessarily understand why they had to jump so far ahead in the story. You could have just brought Alex Vincent back and had him be another year or two older. Justin Whelan, he's fine, but I never quite have that same connection, or it never quite feels like the same Andy in so many ways. I'm going to give the win to Alex Vincent, the original, of course. Best Chuckie line. This is hard because there are a lot of great lines in both films, in all of the films, really. So to pick one favorite from each movie was tough, but the one that I decided from Chuckie in Child's Play 2 is "Close your eyes and count to 7. When you wake, you'll be in heaven." Only reason why I like that is because, well, for one, it's creepy. Two, he says this when he's about to try to possess Andy's body. But three, it's only Chuckie who's able to have fun and make a fun little nursery rhyme right before he does something heinous and evil and involving voodoo on a child. Very effed up on so many levels. The best line in Child's Play 3, in my opinion, is nothing like a good strangulation to get the circulation going, just like the good old days. I like that because that's Charles Lee Ray's character. He's the strangler. That's what he was. And this is almost his release. This is almost his therapy. Choking somebody to death. It's quite good. But I'm going to give the win once again to Child's Play 2. That line is classic. Best kill. This is really, really hard because you could argue a lot of these different kills should have been the best. Like, for example, in Child's Play 2, you could argue that Chuckie killing Phil, the foster dad, on the stairs to the basement, that's a pretty memorable kill. You could argue that Chuckie killing the teacher is memorable, but I decided to settle with him killing the worker at the factory. Not just because it's messed up, but I remember seeing this as a kid, and I was horrified over the moment when the worker falls onto the machine as it's on, and those two dull eyeballs get splattered and shoved into his own eyes and just kills him dead. Very horrific, very messed up of an image for a child to see. In Child's Play 3, once again, you have a lot of great kills to choose from, especially when Chuckie killed that Barbara who just wanted to shave everyone's head. Presto, you're bald. Chuckie comes back. Presto, you're dead. Cuts his throat. That was so close to making it. Also, Chuckie killing the trash guy in the trash compactor. That too was very close. But I'm going to give it to the sergeant. When Chuckie comes out of the office and tries to kill the sergeant, but he stops and has a heart attack. You could argue that Chuckie doesn't even get to kill him, so maybe it shouldn't count, but I love this because it's so realistic. Think about it. A guy at that age seeing a doll come to life and try to kill him, yeah, that's going to cause a heart attack, all right? And it was a surprise. I'm going to give this to, once again, Child's Play 2 because I still can't get that image of that guy with those fake doll eyes out of my head. Actresses. Lead actresses for each film in Child's Play 2. I'm going to say it's Kyle, who is Andy's foster sister. And I really like Kyle. I like her attitude. I like that she instantly relates to Andy and instantly wants to help him. And she becomes a part of this and stops Chuckie along in the process. In Child's Play 3, it's Kristen De Silva, who at this military school, a potential girlfriend for Andy, which I like how Chuckie reacts over the idea of Andy having a girlfriend. But I like her because she's tough and she's capable and she's pretty straightforward when it comes to her feelings for Andy. But once again, I'm giving the win to Kyle because of the connection that she shares. And so far, Child's Play 2 is running away with this. It has a win for each and every single one of these columns. So the last column that I'm gonna decide upon is worst character. Because in horror movies, you're almost guaranteed to have at least one character that you hate or that's unlikable. In Child's Play 2, we have Miss Kettlewell, who is the teacher, Andy's teacher in school, who is so annoying. Look, I know it sounds crazy when a little kid says that his doll is trying to kill him, and so, yeah, sure, fine. Almost nobody believes him, but she just comes off so rude, comes off so bitchy, that I didn't mind when Chuckie came out of that closet and killed her in the classroom. In Child's Play 3, the worst character is Tyler. He is so annoying, this kid. I know he's young, I know he's naive, and I know he just wants to bond with Charles, but I hated how secretive he was, with Andy. I hated how much he just was going off and being so clingy with the doll. And there's something about this actor too. I didn't think he was all that great. I know he was just a kid, but still, just his voice annoyed me most of the time. And he was another character that if he had died, if Chuckie had possessed him, I wouldn't have cared. And I wouldn't have minded. So guys, I'm going to give the win ultimately to Child's Play 2. I think Child's Play 2 is a better film than Child's Play 3. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or if you disagree. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later. Souls taken over by a devilish path. You got me walking on broken glass. Kicking down the door with a Jason mask. With a deck, don't machete, but you motherfuckers know it's heavy. Anytime you're ready, you